shameless, yeah. Stay dangerous. I can get you whack without a payment. Started from the bottom, then we came up. If I don't know in the room, I don't say much.
I just wanted to make my own stuff. I thought being able to control a garment and how it's made and the shape of it is way cooler than making a t-shirt, you know.
And I think ever since then, he's really just been like pushing himself to do, you know, the next craziest thing or like the next big thing.
I think now, these 3 outfits that we just did for One Loud, I feel like that was a huge pivotal point for me too, because it's the first time we were on like a grand stage like that, and you know, we did something huge. This is like my big kick in the door, you know, like my big like boom, I'm here. Like there's not many young fashion designers that are like orchestrating their own show, like doing their own samples. Like they're skating in like $300 shoes.
Manny, I met him, I can remember the exact day. It was the first day, sophomore year, history class. I remember I met him, and then ever since, we've been like best friends, man. At this point, he's like family. That's like my brother.
A Manny lo conocí cuando daba sus primeros pasos. Yo llegué a su factoría, a su estudio, y me fui a arreglar una máquina y empezamos a conversar acerca de la industria de la ropa. Y yo le dije que yo era sample maker y me dijo, oh, ¿de verdad? ¿Me puede enseñar un poquito de eso? Y le dije, sí, yo puedo enseñarte un poco. Y así fue como comenzamos.
I'm the designer now. You feel me? Like I'm driving the boat. My name is Manuel Munoz, 24 years old. I'm from the Wrigley area of Long Beach, California. So my influences aren't always just like designers themselves. A lot of them are artists and like musicians that just happen to like have really cool style or just do different things. But a few of them to name are like Jean-Michel Basquiat, Pharrell, of course, Kanye West. Like skateboarding in Long Beach, just like seeing like the Ice Cream Volume 1 video really inspired me to like want to do different things, you know. And like that's going back to when I was like 11, and so seeing like Terry Kennedy in it and like Jacob Walder and stuff, like it really made me like I don't know, just want to like do something different. Like the way that Pharrell was like just taking like all his music and like using it for the skate video with like all these kids that are like really at the time were like nobody, you know, we're barely like blowing up, and he's like giving them an opportunity to shine. I would say like the very first like pivotal point was buying like my first sewing machine. You know, I spent my last like $80 on a little rinky-dink sewing machine, and that opened the door to want to do a bunch of different things.
I remember when we first started trying to like make clothes and started to make a pair of pants, like we finally had enough to buy our first roll of fabric. So we're so stoked about getting the fabric, we make the purchase and everything. And then once we get the fabric, we realize, fuck, we gotta walk like 5 blocks carrying this shit. So it's just both of us struggling for 5 blocks, walking like downtown LA, carrying this fabric, people looking at us crazy. And we just felt so excited to get to work, man. I remember that day, that was so funny.
Shout out little Joey, that's gonna be my dog for life forever. And Dane, you know, he had a interview in this also. Dane, man, fucking love you, dog. I know you've seen this, yo. Shout out my dog Dane, man. He's shown me so much love countless times, and you know, with me and him, he already knows like the feelings are mutual. Like that's my boy.
So I'm a professional skateboarder for DGK. My name's Dane Vaughn. I think one of my favorite pieces that he done was like the pairs of pants that he made for a while there. Like they were just kind of like this nice fit down the leg, and then they just kind of had a little like drip effect, like little like flare out drip effect on the bottom, and that was just like, you know, something I really was into that he made, and I still am into.
The story that I always tell people, and I think it's hilarious, is one of the first times we ever hung out. It was the first time I ever went to his house. He was doing this project for somebody, and he was trying to sew patches onto a sweater, and he didn't know how to like take a seam apart and sew it back together. And I literally took my own sweatshirt off and ripped the seam open just to show him that it was possible. And then I think it was maybe a week later, he called me and he told me that he was on his way up to LA, and he was like, can I come over? Like, I want to make a pair of pants today. And I was like, I started laughing on the phone. I was like, make a pair of pants? Like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, this fool didn't even know how to sew a seam last week. And then he showed up at my house, and he left my house that day with 2 pairs of pants. And like, I had only known him maybe a month or maybe 2 months, and that just like blew me away. That was like when I knew, like, okay, this kid's going somewhere. He's really gonna do something. When I saw the fact that he made 2 pairs of pants when he didn't even know how to make, like, he just freestyled it. Like it honestly blew my mind, because I mean, I knew people that made clothes, but I had never seen somebody do something like that. And ever since then, he's just gone crazy. Like, every time he makes something, it's kind of the same thing. I'm looking at him like, you can't fucking do that. Like, that's not how that fucking works. And he doesn't care. Like, there's no limits to what he does, or like the way his mind works. And that's one of the things I love about him.
Manuel es una persona ahora muy innovadora en cuestión de diseñar. Él me gusta cómo diseña, él está diseñando a gran escala, está diseñando cosas que yo en 33 años que tengo de trabajar en la moda, no había visto cosas que él hace, y eso me da gusto, porque yo siento que él ahora está diseñando, pero muy rápido, él sabe ya, él está concentrado, a él lo veo que le gusta trabajar, le encanta diseñar.
After knowing him for the last couple of years that I've known him, you could definitely see like a lot more progression, a lot more care, a lot more perfection, and you know, you could see it. You could see the progression.
And as to now, we go into a fabric store, every piece he sees, every row he sees, he's automatically thinking, boom, I can do this with that, I can do this with this, I can do this with this. His brain's just constantly thinking of new ideas. And I don't think it's stopped ever since he started, to be honest.
What makes him a great designer is that he takes pride and love and in his work, and he does it every day. He wants to grow. He wants to be something bigger than what he has already become.
When I first started, I was like printing on shirts, and like I realized quickly that wasn't what I wanted to be. I didn't want to be a t-shirt brand. I didn't want to be known as like somebody that's just printing on shirts. I wanted to be able to like construct a garment and really just like control it in any aspect and any way that I wanted, because like I said in the beginning, that's like the liberty of being able to do that is unlike anything else. Like, if I, like this hoodie that I have on, if I want to like make it super boxy and like super short, I can do that because I'm designing this garment. I'm like making this different. I'm making this how I want it to be. I'm the designer now. And I feel like that's where it all comes from. Like, I have full control, and like maybe I'm a control freak or something. I don't know. I hate not being in control of a situation. Like, I want like my garment, if I have an idea, I want it to come out how I want it to come out. Not how anybody's like, oh, well, you can't do that. No, like, there has to be a way. You know what I mean? There's always a way for something. And so I feel like that's what made me want to transition into like high-end fashion, because it's like now I'm not just like streetwear. There's only a few things that you can do with it. There's only so much. Like, you can do high-end streetwear, but it's still streetwear. You know what I mean? You're still looked at as like a streetwear brand. So like, you know, I want to do the runway shows. I love the runway shows, the fittings, like the patterns, like doing everything, the whole process, everything is just like amazing to me. And so I think that's what made me really want to transition to high-end fashion, because it's like it's a whole nother tier, I guess you could say. Rest in peace, my friend Romero. And so, you know, if it wasn't for him, really, I don't think this whole collection would have happened, because like that's where I kind of got the whole inspiration from. I kind of wanted to have something that tied back to like something I feel like he would have liked or could relate to in a way. Like I was saying, I wanted to like create something that I felt, you know, my friend Romero would be kind of like proud of, something that I feel like he would have even wore. And that's why I released a whole black collection, a very minimalistic collection that everybody can wear, that just looks fly as shit, you know, and you can mix it with everything. So I guess like this being my first collection, it meant more to me to like make sure that like it was something that I feel like he could have related to, because this is like my big kick in the door, you know, like my big like boom, I'm here, like there's not many young fashion designers that are like orchestrating their own show, like doing their own samples. I can't really say much. I mean, if I could describe it in one sentence, like I said, it'd be the mob, the Matrix, having a baby. And this is what it's like, you know, if the mob was still around, it's kind of like what they would wear, I guess. I wanted to do something with like tacticalness, but still with like a upper echelon, like Hitman kind of style of like the mafia, where it's like, you know, you look like you're gonna go to church, but under that trench coat or under that jacket, you're packing a 4-5 with, you know, 3 clips and a flashlight and whatever it may be you need, you know. So This collection is it's very different. We go from having a trench coat with a detachable backpack to just a nice silky button-up shirt that just looks really nice. This whole collection is really based on like fit and tacticalness, I guess you could say. There's no color in it for the most part. It's an all-black collection. For the future, I'm hoping this collection really gets my name out there, and it just shows people what I'm capable of, shows other brands, other companies, because I do want to take on jobs as like a head designer, creative director. I feel like I'm really good with denim. Next year I have another project that I'm working on already, and then trying to get some contracts with other bigger brands, and maybe even do a couple collabs, But for the most part, I think we're just gonna ride this runway, see what happens, we'll go from there.
Whole pound of Zaza, smoke it right now. She say she here forever, but it's right now. I was cold in that weather, but I'm right now. BB stands on my sweater, dim the lights down. Loyalty me forever, not just right now. He used to be a dope dealer, like smoke spice now. I felt like I could never put my pipe down, cause I know niggas pocket watching for the hype now. If my dog need me, I got him, don't think twice about it. And I'm still screaming rest in peace.
I've been popping from the go. I had it jumping from the go. I get it popping from the go. Yeah, we never stopping, no. Girl, I blow it all on you. Girl, I blow it all on you. Call me Hefe, I'm the boss of that. Call me Hefe, I'm the boss of that.
Run it up, yeah.
Run it up, run it up.
Run it up. Oh,
Yeah, run it up. Oh,
run
yeah.
it up.
Run it up, run it up. Oh yeah, tonight we gon' fuck it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm so futuristic, yeah. Candy girl writing in my new edition, yeah. Goddamn, I'm so futuristic. Press one button, now the roof is missing. Woo!
Oh, I'm so
Run it up,
futuristic.
like run it up.
Oh, I'm so futuristic.
From the door, yeah, had the shit poppin' from the go. Yeah, all about my motherfucking dog.
Baby girl, don't ask, just run it up. Run it up. Oh, you got some OG, we'll burn it up. Burn it up. Oh, it's a after party, we gon' turn it up. Turn it up. All your hoes in my section and they drunk as fuck. Me, you and your friends, we gon' run it up. Run it up. They can't take me nowhere, they say I be cutting up. She spilled a drink all on my pants, I'm like, you fucking up. She so faded that she looked at me and started busting up. Please no pictures, I want you and your sister. I'm in my zone off the liquor, and she get to tugging on my zipper like, come here little baby, come here little baby. Let me hit it from the real little baby. Ain't nothing to feel little baby, cause
Girl, I blow it all on you. Girl, I blow it all on you. Call me Hefe, I'm the boss of that. Call me Hefe, I'm the boss of that.
run it up, yeah.
Run it up, run it up.
Run it up. Oh,
Yeah, run it up. Oh,
run
yeah.
it up.
Run it up, run it up. Oh yeah, tonight we gon' fuck it up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm so futuristic, yeah. Candy girl writing in my new edition, yeah. Goddamn, I'm so futuristic. Press one button, now the roof is missing. Woo!
Oh, I'm so
Run it up,
futuristic.
like run it up.
Oh, I'm so
From
futuristic.
the door.
Crazy gang. Let's go, man! Fucking do that shit! Fucking do that shit! dstryr 7 alpha, take 1 marker.
So
I might have some long answers. Bro.
she say I'ma go and fuck another nigga. So she say that she really like the nigga. So all homies talking down on me. So as long as this dough keep on coming in, I'm pro. So she say I'ma go and fuck another nigga. So Givenchy shirt cost me $9.
But yeah, shout out my team, man. I wouldn't be shit without y'all. Straight up.